Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. We are the Man United Agenda. Myself, Rio. I'm joined with Yaba today. Nottingham Forest 2, Manchester United 2. And as the song goes, back to life, back to reality. Yaba.
Soul to soul. Soul to soul.
Exactly.
You're bringing back the old
Exactly.
hits, aren't you? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. Well, it does seem a bit like back to reality with the result there, as in dropping points. And that's what we've been doing for the last season or so. But it's a good result upon reflection. I'm here to bring a bit of positivity to the result because in hindsight, I'm disappointed with the 2 goals we conceded early on in the second half, but we showed some character to fight back. So it's all about marginal gains, and that was a gain for us. That was a plus point, showing some character and not losing there when Forest had all the momentum. So well done, Man United, for coming back. Big up, Colin.
Colin.
Long time.
Congratulations again, another successful watch along. But what are your thoughts? Obviously, topsy-turvy game. As Yaba says, this is kind of a performance where in the past we probably would have shut the bed and lost. We have not lost the game. From your point of view, come on, what are you thinking?
Well, obviously, as people know, I kind of do the thumbnails. I had to change the thumbnail because it was very negative. But I'll say, I think this is a massive reality check. I think we've just had a massive reality check. We've been getting excited, 3 on the bounce. Oh, we're going to make it 4 on the bounce. Then we're going to make it. Now, there are still massive, massive errors that players are capable on this pitch. And we've seen them happen today. Yes, there's little links. I think I was saying in the watch long. I'm starting to like the little links that are forming between players, but there's some players still out there that don't even know what a football is. I think when you actually watch them play, I'm sure we'll get into like the actual depths of it a little bit more later on. So I'll refrain from taking my shots at players until then. But yeah, I think this was a wake-up call. I think we all actually needed, to be fair.
Yeah, and going to Stephanie's comment, we didn't lose. That's the main thing. Ahmad off the mark. So Ahmad getting a goal, but I've got my kind of opinion on his performance. We deserve better in the chat. Big up Colin, obviously joining us late. Thank you. Andrew Williams, Amarin picking Delo on the left, inexcusable. I think we might all have a similar feeling towards that pick. And then, yes, Stephanie, yo, AW, 8 likes. Yeah, if you're here, drop a like, smash the like. We didn't lose, so it probably deserves that. But yeah, okay, going into some of the performances, and let's run through them. So I've got a list of names where I was watching the game myself, obviously. And Cunha, Ahmad, Delo, they're the 3 I've got down. So Cunha might shock you, because obviously he's the new fancy toy, but I will call it as I see it. I thought he didn't have the best of performances. Ahmad didn't have the best of performances, but got the goal. So, equalizer. And then Delo, I think he's the one where we kind of... It feels like one of those situations where he's been being put into a winning team, so don't change the team situation. We only made 2 substitutions. Dorgu came on and Maz came on. And when Dorgu came on and he looked like the player that I'd hoped he'd look like. He actually was a little bit of a bright spark. Yeah, but what were your thoughts on the performances of those players that I've called out? So Cunha, Ahmad, Delo.
Yeah, first of all, Cunha, we know what he's got. He's electric when he gets the ball into areas. He can drive, he can create things. And yeah, he didn't have the best of games today, and I'm sure he will be disappointed by his high standards. And when he comes to Man United Football Club, you can't have off games like that because it will be noticed. You're not at Wolves now, so he needs to raise the level. He's just come to the club, so I'm prepared to give him a blythe for that because he is super talented, and you do want him in your team. The Ahmad situation, I disagree with you. I know he got strong-armed for the goal. What's his name? Mick Gibbs-White strong-armed him because initially it was a corner when Ahmad felt he was pushed. So this is about the issue about him being 5'0", playing in a position where he has to be in the defensive areas a lot of the time, and having that balance between good attacking and good defending. And I was one to sort of reward him the other day for pinching balls and hustling and being a dog. But this time he got muscled out with the strength. Morgan Gibbs-White is much bigger than him, got the corner by a little slight push, which wasn't given. And then they scored from the corner when it went to the back post. And he got strong-armed by Gibbs-White again. You see what I mean? So that is something that you can't do, no matter how much weight you lift or how strong you become or how much spinach you eat. That's just something. You're 5'0". You're not.
To be fair though, yeah, but I'm not and I agree with that. I think there's only so much you can do, and ultimately, Ahmad is on the back post. We know he's going to be in these situations. Stop the cross. Ultimately, stop the cross. Don't put him in that situation in the first place. I think going forward, I think he was a bit. It's weird. We've been calling him out, saying over the last couple of weeks his defensive work's been really good. I just think going forward, he was a little bit lapsy daisy at times on the ball in situations.
I'm shocked.
I think so. I think so. I think so. I do think so.
Well, with respect, I respect you, Ria. I just disagree with that. I do disagree. I thought there was nothing wrong with his play. You have to remember he's a attacking player, playing in deeper positions, getting the ball, and it's unlike Bruno, who is also an attacking player, having to drop deeper, be more responsible. I think Ahmad showed more maturity in that position by dropping deeper and being more getting balls in positions that he's probably not used to, and having to play conservative and decide when to burst and to link up play. So I'm backing him on this one, but I understand where you're coming from. Just finally, before we go to Colin, do you want to talk about Dallo, you said about him playing on the left-hand side. I'm thinking, what does he bring some defensive security by playing there? And the answer is no, in my opinion. When we saw Dorgu come on, he whipped in 2 dangerous crosses towards the end of the game. He's getting forward. He gives us a bit more. And I'm not going to here to disrespect players or anything. I just do think Dorgu deserves a run. Even Diego Leon, who scored a wicked goal for the under-21s the other day, that should be a consideration. Dallo, there's clearly professionalism, consistency in training, turning up on time. That's probably what gets him rewarded on the team sheet. But it has to come a time we have to consider, but going forward, we need to put some pressure on him, at least, with that position. Don't know what you think about those 3, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything different about Ahmad. I thought at occasions you were a bit too greedy. You know, he kept cutting in and then trying to get the shot off, which I'm not going to blame him for. You know, he's a young player. He's still learning his trade. He wants to score goals. I'm not going to hold that against him. But, you know, I think with a bit of maturity, he'll probably find the pass that needs to be played in those situations instead of trying to curl one into the top corner. I mean, you know, the goal he scored was absolutely fantastic. It was beautiful. You know, chef's kiss. Cunha, yeah, he had a bit of a quiet game. And like Yara said, you know, you can't get away with having games like that, United, because you are under the microscope every single game. We know how good he is. We've seen what he can do. And I think the added expectation that's on him at the moment as well probably doesn't help with him. Obviously, I think all I heard before the game was, Cunha likes to score against Forest. You know, he's constantly doing it. And that gives us then an expectation of he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And when he's not performing as well as what he is, we jump on him very quickly. I think what we have to remember is this is how many games has he played now? Because he hasn't played every game for us. It's still settling in period.
Still early for him.
This is what I mean. And I know, obviously, Yaba won't go in on players, but I will. I never want to see Dallo at left wing back again, ever in my life. When I go to Old Trafford to watch a game and I see Dallo and he's starting at left wing, I'm jumping on the pitch and ragging him off and sitting him down next to me. I'm like, you're as useful there as you are on the pitch. So sit here with me, because Jesus, if you noticed, obviously I did the watch long. If you notice, when Dallo came off and Dorgu came on, they started switching where they're attacking. They started attacking Ahmad's side because they knew we had a competent defender then, so they couldn't get past him. So they decided, let's go to the other side. It's such a weak link on that side.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it goes back to what I said in terms of, it feels like we've been waiting for a bad performance to then get him out of the team when you've actually got a good player. And I know Dorgu's not, fully proven, but he needs the game time, and hopefully this might be the caveat now to give him the push going forward. I'd like to touch on some of the goals, and obviously let's bring a little bit of positivity because we did score in this game. We started off with the Casemiro goal, a set piece, ole, believe it or not. So I was a bit chuffed about that, getting a set piece done. Bruno obviously reliant in taking the delivery. Casemiro, he's been a little shining spot for us this season, hasn't he? Casemiro, I think he's the one consistent, believe it or not, but you do see it when the game drags on. Few tired passes towards the end. I'm surprised he didn't get substituted off, but again, he's an assured like person in that midfield. Yaba, thoughts on Casemiro's performance today?
Thoughts there, yeah. I mean, look, he's getting clutch goals again. He's so good with his head. It's unbelievable how many goals he scores with his head on set pieces, and how many in defensive situations as well, how good he is defending. I'll talk about his overall performance. And this season, he's been probably our best position. He's probably been number one in team sheet in that position. You're talking about Kobe and Ugarte, maybe. Those guys aren't ahead of him. He earned his place. There was a period when even Kobe Kulia was ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he's Mainu should look at this and say, look, there's still an opportunity. If you perform well and then you can get your place back. And Casemiro was written off by a lot of people and he's come back, shown that he deserves to be in the side. And getting a goal today was lovely for him. And it just feels it again, because otherwise, if you don't score, people don't remember your performances. And he scored today and people will be talking about him. But just overall, not just today, but overall, he's played well this season. Not outstanding, just played well. And with the limited sort of options we have in that position, he stands out. He's the better player at the moment, So using experience, using his maturity. Once again, I'm using his word maturity a lot today because he's shown a lot of maturity with his experience that he has got to work his way back into the team. And you're not seeing the issue of rush tackles anymore. I say that, touch wood, it doesn't happen next week, but we're not seeing the rush tackles, the sending offs, all the issues that we were picking at him at. He seems to have taken that on board, and he's trying to be a bit more conservative with his play. And the only thing I don't like about his game is that he tries that one-touch ping too many times and we give the ball away. So if it comes off, great, but that one-touch ping, bang, is not my favorite. Yeah. It comes to his feet. You roll it to him and he hits it into the channel or something like that. Slow it down, build up better. That way we get more control. Otherwise, well done, Casemiro, and a really good goal. It's like he's standing still, but he was still, and the ball came to him and he's able to guide it. It's a lot of technique goes into scoring goals like that. It can go anywhere. As we saw with Milinkovic, he had a header that similar position. He had his run on and he hit it over the bar. Casemiro just done the right thing. Good morning, head down, and got it into the back of the net. And it was really great goal for us and a good start considering we're up against it. The crowd, I heard the crowd at Nottingham Forest early in the game. They were going off. They were really excited. And it's a daunting atmosphere no matter what you are or how you play. And as they were building up, I was thinking, boy, we get a draw out of this with the momentum they got with Sean Dyche. I saw him screaming. He's got some voice, man. He's using a number 2 that screams on the sideline. Sean Dyche was doing everything. But yeah, I just felt there was a good start to get that goal and the base. And I thought, boy, I wasn't still confident we win the game, but I thought that's a great start because if they would have scored first, it would have been a lot of pressure on us. So well done to Casemiro. Good performance.
Okay, so going off that, and obviously, Colm, you kind of hit the nail on the head when you joined. Reality check. We've got Tottenham next. followed by Everton at home, and then Crystal Palace, and then obviously West Ham. I will always like to say I demand calmness, remain calm. I'm not, we will come off here, we'll go scrolling through our phones, and we'll be, hammering this, hammering that, blah, blah, blah. Colin, come on, rein it back in. Where are we at? Are we calm? Are we okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was saying this. I had somebody's younger version of them in the chat on the watch along, obviously going in and out on Amram, and I was like, "Why? Just calm. There's no point going on him. He hasn't gone in there and gone, go concede 2 goals in first minute at second half, to make it interesting. We switched off. We weren't warm when we came back out. We see things, but I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think what we've all got to remember is we finished 15th last season, 15th, and today, yes, we haven't won, but if we did, we would have been second. The jump is massive, and this is all obviously Amrin's work. This is all his doing, his training. Yes, if you want to bring everything up from the past, feel free. Dig yourselves down in a ditch, bury yourselves there, and stand on your pole with the flag flying high, saying you're not moving from there. Take it game by game. That's all you can do. We can't judge Amram on the last however many games of the season he had last year, because his work started this season. And we're starting to see the work developing. Yes, we've had a bad performance today. Players are switched off. We haven't played the most attractive football in the world, but we're getting the thing that matters, and that's results.
Yeah, we did not lose. We
didn't. I would take a point over nothing every day.
Let me just add. Look, we talked about the first goal when Ahmad thought he got strong arms for that, but the second goal. This is why, if you look at my title, it says Harry Maguire fan. We're playing in the Premier League. This is English football. The standard thing you should be doing in English football. Look at the Nottingham Forest centre backs, big units, Murillo and the Serbian guy, massive guys, and they're good partnerships. They win things, they clear the lines and win headers and defend well. They defended one off the line at the last minute when Ahmad could have got a brace. So our goal, Euro, let me just give 2 examples. After the goal, let's talk about this. The ball came over, standard header, and Euro was under it, and he actually missed the ball, or he got a stupid header on it, and it didn't clear his lines. He needs to sort out his heading. Okay, this is standard in the Premiership. If you haven't got that, you're going to get exposed, and as he did for the goal. If Harry Maguire is in that position, it's a standard clearance with the second goal, and we move on. But Euro, he's got to call his name, Euros, and start dealing with things, because that is getting more and more highlighted. And we have to talk about it. I know people like him because he's chalky on the ball and he thinks he's a modern day defender, defending wide areas, playmaking centre back and all that kind of thing. Got his hair nice and neat and all that kind of thing. You need to get broken nose like Steve Bruce. You need to get black eyes. You need to get Terry Butcher bleeding head bandage and all that kind of thing. That's how you become a defender in the Premier League. So you need to fix up, man. Shave your head bald, like you're in the military, and go to boot camp and start learning how to header. Let Harry Maguire take you to his boot camp and learn how to go up north, to Doncaster or a place like that where you're from, Colin, and learn in the cold weathers this winter how to header, because you messed up, and that's what cost us 3 points, in my opinion. That stupidness there. If we don't talk about it, if you guys want to run from it and not talk about it, that's on you. But I'm a Harry Maguire fan because he plays in the Prem, and that standard for him, we didn't even blink an eye. He just cleared that, and we move on.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to start looking at players that we don't normally look at for errors. And yes, Euro, it needs to be a lot stronger. But at the same time, if Dallo does his job, that cross doesn't come in, because Dallo was basically holding Euro's hand. Why he was in the box and not out marking his man, I don't know.
It was weird, wasn't it? So they both went up for it. The ball's dropped, and then Dallo is what's his name? What's his name? Sanoza that got the goal. Satona that got the goal. He's left his man. So it was a whole calamity. That whole situation was a whole calamity.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Yaba. Maguire in that situation, does that happen? Probably not. But I think in that game, too many crosses came into the box. Too many crosses. But yeah, going to Bart's comment here. This game is an example of why Amarin side is still work in progress, and we know that these players, they can give a 4 out of 10 when it suits them. But what I'd like to say, I'm saying all this, I'm hearing Colin, I'm hearing you, Yaba. This is a different feeling. I feel a little bit sick off the back of this draw, because we've been winning recently. Whereas in the past, where we've got a draw or a loss, we've become so numb to the feeling of these crappy performances. We're a little bit kind of surprised by this, but at the same time not. So it's a caveat to where we've come in the last couple of weeks. We demand more, we expect more, we don't expect that. And hopefully they know this, and they're in the changing rooms, and they'll take this away and they'll be like, you know what, yeah, we're better than this. I don't like this feeling. I want that feeling of, we can go back online, we can see the fan base supporting us, and we will give them the flowers when they deserve it. But when they put out a shit performance like this, rightly so, we will call it out because we know what they can do. Yes, Yaba.
Question Churia and Column. Look, we all been raving about a new goalkeeper. Is there a question mark about him, or are you still convinced?
Not for me.
No, still no
Not
question.
for me. Not for me. I've got on my comments. Lemans is great. I'm happy with him. First half for me. Again, he was parrying things into good areas. I thought it was okay.
We conceding goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then I don't think it's down to him.
He had 2 clean sheets. I think. Well, he's got what? I think we had 1 clean sheet this season against Sunderland. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, his first game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
But it's not down to him. It's not down to him though. It's not down to him. There's a whole.
Couldn't he have got that header? Couldn't he have saved Morgan Goodwhite's header?
No, the header killed. It was a weird header. It killed. The header killed. I'm not blaming Ahmad. Ahmad obviously needs to do better, but I always go back to, don't let the cross come in. Don't let the cross come in. Yates, I think, was that cross that he had all the space in the world, just, in that De Bruyne area. You don't allow that. I think for the second goal, at least, I can't remember who it was that kind of blocked the cross, so it deflected and then it looped into the box. So that was an attempt. But yeah, just stop the crosses, and that's what we need to do, especially when you got wing backs. That shouldn't be happening in those areas anyway. So yeah, it's a weird situation. It's a very weird situation, but
Column, hopefully you won't dodge the question and start talking about crosses coming in. I'm talking about Column, you're a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Is there a question mark about our new goalkeeper?
I feel like I'm on the Colosseum right now.
Yeah.
I have questions.
Okay.
He's better than what we have, but I still have questions. Some of his positioning is a bit suspect at times. I feel like he doesn't quite fully know where he is in his own space at times. Like, for instance, like the header, if he's a couple of inches across, there's more of a chance of doing it. And I think he gets flat-footed quite a lot as well. Yes, he's fantastic. He comes out, punches the ball clear and everything like that. He can make good saves. Doesn't do the Inanna thing and pushes the ball into danger. He pushes it away. But if you actually do watch, and I mean, I'm talking here from, the minutest microscope level I'm looking at here. He has got some errors in his footwork that do concern me at times. But again, it's still better than what we have. Do I think we need to bring in a more senior goalkeeper? Yes. But I don't think we're in massive, massive danger if we stick with Lemans. He's only going to get better as the time goes on. But yeah.
I thought you should have saved the goal, the Morgan Goodwite's goal. I thought you should have saved that. This
is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think he got caught flat-footed in that goal. This is what I'm saying. If he's on his toes and he's moving, he's got a chance to get there. I think it's happened a couple of times where he's kind of like just almost watched the ball go in because he hasn't set himself.
Maybe. But if you watch it back, it killed. It was a weird header, but maybe he could do better. But it killed. But
like I said, I'm looking at it from like obviously goalkeeping point. I've been trained, drilled, I've coached everything. I'm looking at it from like under a proper microscope. Yeah. I'm looking at the really minuscule things but all those things add up.
Yeah. Okay. I think let's get this defense assured. stop crosses, stop these shots, because they had a lot of long shots as well, which annoyed me, because I understood where you're coming from. They took a few long shots, and yeah, he was a little bit in no man's land for those shots. But overall, I'm not too concerned with him. I'm not too concerned about the overall performance. Again, Tottenham next week. Let's see. This was the test. We knew they were going to be kind of a low block kind of team. We needed to see how we performed in that kind of situation. We kind of failed that test, to be perfectly honest with you. So this is the opportunity. Amram, show us what you're all about. This is what you're getting paid for. Show us why you are the man to take us to the next level, why you deserve to still be in post, why Ratcliffe has come out and said 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. Show us. You've got a week now, no midweek football, painfully, but might be to our detriment for situations like this. You can work on it, go back to the training pitch, and then next weekend, bring it on. But yeah,
I want to say shout out for that technique for the finish, but Ahmad, outstanding. That's the goal of the season from us this year, I think. When you look at it time again, to keep that down and to put it in the back of the net like that, in the tight area when there's so many bodies around, it was magnificent. I don't know what VAR was looking at to delay that. I don't know what the issue was there, but what a finish. And I'm really happy for the young boy, because he's a super talent and we are going to miss him. Trust me, come African nations and everything, because he's steady and playing in that role, and he's the number one pick in that position at the moment. So well done, Ahmad. Glad he's off the mark for this season.
Anyway, gents. Colin, final thoughts, kind sir.
Final thoughts. Karma. Just breathe. It's okay. We haven't lost a final. We've drew a game. We've still got points on the board. Just calm down.
Yeah, but what about you, kind sir?
Just say big up, Colin. Welcome back. Nice to have you back. A wicked watch along as well. I know it's 3 o'clock kickoff. That's why we're here to talk about the game. For those who didn't see it, maybe you watch it on Match of the Day, you'll get highlights. But yeah, it was a good game. It was good quality game to go away from home. Showed a bit of character to come back and get that win. But yeah, still errors that we've made. But hopefully, it's a work in progress.
And I think on that note, again, I think the message that we will put out there into the atmosphere, into the universe, Colin, you said it perfectly. Karma. But yeah, people, thank you for joining us after the end of game review. Smash the likes if you haven't already. Really do appreciate it. I think we should be back on Monday with a evening show. We probably will go over what Amram has been speaking about, any news that pops up on that day. But yeah, we've been the United Agenda. And of course, we did not lose. So one last time, karma. Thank you. Take care.
Good night. Thanks,
Good night.
guys.